Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Mark, I have taken on a brew challenge to try Astral Drift and Astral Slide in Legacy. Astral Slide is the original here. This card was a big player in the standard and extended formats it was legal in long ago. Originally printed in Onslaught block. And it got an update in Modern Horizons #1 with Astral Drift. What these cards do is whenever a player cycles a card, you may exile target creature. If you do, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So it moves creatures in and out of play. More recently, a lot of the printings like this have been immediately, like flicker it, take it out, put it right back in. This removes it until the end of turn. So it's gone for the whole turn, or until the next end step, which can protect from removal, as well as you can remove your opponent's creatures and push through attacks. And you get to recycle your enters the battlefield abilities. The updated version, Astral Drift, it's same mana cost, 2 and a white. Enchantment, whenever you cycle Astral Drift or cycle another card while Drift is on the battlefield. So this one has cycling itself, and you get a one-shot version of this effect if you don't want to commit it to the board. And otherwise, it has all the same words on it. Exile any creature, yours or theirs, comes back at the end of turn. Obviously, to make an Astral Drift Astral Slide deck work, you need two things, which are cycling effects and creatures worth blinking. Our cycling effects, let's start there. Secluded Step, Tranquil Thicket. Those are built right into the mana base. They go off with Light from the Loam. So you can cycle many times per turn. Classic interaction there. Edge of Autumn is a really tricky one that did not exist back when Astral Slide was in Standard. It's a rampant growth if you have 4 or fewer lands. And at any time, you can sacrifice a land to cycle this. That means tapped out, locked under Trinisphere, whatever, doesn't matter. You can sack a land at any time to get a cycle, which draws a card and triggers any drifts you have in play. That's also the reason there are 4 Flagstones of Trocaire in this deck, so we can Edge of Autumn for profit. And then at the top, we have Cast Out and Timeless Dragon. Most of the cycling here is happening in the mana base. There's only 18 cycle effects, including the Astral Drift itself, which might not seem like a lot, but once you get Loam going with even 1 or 2 of these lands, it's going to feel like a lot. Since we're a Loam deck anyway, Mox Diamond accelerates the mana. 4x Ancient Tomb helps you get Astral Drift, Astral Slide into play. And the original thought idea that Mark sent me had the Ancient Tombs, did not have Chalice of the Void, and he kind of mentioned Trinisphere as a possibility. I went all the way in on those. I noticed that this deck didn't have any 1-drops in it, and I was like, oh, we need Swords of Plowshares, we need Prismatic Ending, we're not going to survive a Legacy game. But there's another type of Legacy deck building, which is Prison. Instead of trying to make room for some Swords of Plowshares and removal spells, I just jam 4 Chalice in here. We already have 8 ways to do that on turn 1. Trinisphere, a really exciting one as well. Most of our effects already cost 3 mana. And cycling is not a spell, so once you have a drift effect in play, you are largely immune to your own Trinisphere, while also locking the opponent out of the game. Gives you a lot of main deck play against the unfair stuff, and the fair stuff as well. Then the creatures to blink half of the deck. At the low end, Spirited Companion and Elvish Visionary are both 2 mana, 1/1s that draw a card. Split them because Solitude and Endurance are both in this 95, Endurance in the sideboard, Solitude in the main. Moonblessed Cleric, Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it on top of your library. The enchantments in this deck include, of course, the Slides and Drifts. Spirit and Companion is an enchantment creature. Cast Out if you need a removal spell, and very importantly, there's a Solitary Confinement in here. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Solitary Confinement unless you discard a card. Skip your draw step, you have Shroud, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Solitary Confinement with Life from the Loam and a Cycle land is a soft lock. You'll have 3 fresh cards in your hand every turn, plenty of lands to discard. You only skip your draw step. You can still draw cards in general. So you skip your draw step, discard a land, cast Life from the Loam, pick up 3 lands, one of them cycle that land, dredge Loam, and then load up your hand, and you can keep Solitary Confinement in play for a long time. Mark's original build of this had 3 Solitary Confinements. He was going a lot harder on this lock, but I had to make room for the Trinispheres and Chalice of the Voids. And I think this one is the most dubious lock that needs the most things to go right. I still like it in the deck, but if we're already doing Trinisphere and Chalice of the Void stuff, I kind of like tutoring for this when the time is right rather than trying to turbo it out. There's 1 left, and there's a way to tutor it. And you can even tutor the tutor for that. Recruiter the Guard, this is a 4 of. This ties the whole room together. This can search for any other creature in the deck except for the Timeless Dragon. And it's a great thing to slide in and out of play. You play this, you get a Spirited Companion if you need card advantage, Apparition or Knight if you need removal or permanent removal, Solitude if you need creature removal, and then you can flicker the Recruiter and keep on looking. You could even recruit for Flicker Wisp, Recruiter, get another thing, and go that way. 3 Eternal Witness in the deck. This is the classic. You can attack or block with Eternal Witness, cycle Tranquil Thicket, flicker the Witness, Witness comes back, returns the Tranquil Thicket, just a self-contained little, you draw 1 card along the way, and all your resources are right where you left them, but you're +1 card. That's an important one to have in the mix. And for Solitude, this is really cool. Solitude and Endurance have a cool trick where you can evoke them for pitching a card, and then once they're in play, you can cycle and flicker them out of play. And when they come back, there'll be a new object that stays in play forever because the new object was not evoked. That's a cool trick, a way to cheese a permanent into play sooner than you should have it, and you get 2 versions of the effect. A lot of cool synergy here shoved into this Ancient Tomb, Mox Diamond fueled Artifact Stompy Prison Shell. I have no idea if this is going to work. Never seen anything quite like it. And I've seen Trinisphere decks fueled out by Ancient Tomb, and I've seen Astral Slide back in its natural environment. But together in Legacy in 2022, this is new to everybody. And of course, because it's 2022, we get Yorion, who also likes to flicker things. I imagine at some point we'll find an endgame situation across these 5 matches where Yorion's in play with an Astral Drift, and we can threaten flickering Yorion, which flickers the whole board and just go completely bananas. And I'm looking forward to it. Let's do this thing. This is Mark's Astral Slide. One other thing I forgot to mention in the deck tech before anybody asks about it. When you're like, where's the Shark Typhoon? Where's the Brainstorm? Where's the Ponder? Where's Lay Claim? Where's Replenish? One of the stipulations was that this be a green-white deck. And we stayed true to that one. If you want to see me cycling Shark Typhoon, there's plenty of opportunities to do that elsewhere on the channel. We're going to do something totally different here. Anyway, on the draw, 1 forest and a bunch of expensive stuff. I'm going to mulligan this. Oh no. A mulligan again. Okay, got to keep this one. I think I'm going to send Basic Forest, or actually Basic Forest is pretty good. I'm going to send Savannah and Secluded Step to the bottom. This hand can play Flagstone, cycle Secluded Step, cycle Edge of Autumn, replace the Flagstones. It sees a lot of new cards very quickly. Opponents on a Multa 6 and their Delver. Okay. You're an Astral Drift. That's good stuff. Daze. Okay. Good to know about that one. I don't need to cycle this Edge of Autumn right away. In fact, it might be a mistake to do so. Just holding on to that precious cargo. I am going to cycle the Secluded Step, though. Cycle this one. And Astral Drift costs 3 to cycle. I think I'd rather get it into play, or try to get it into play. The Ancient Tomb pushes me up above Daze. And Drifts and slides are pretty good against Delver because Murktide Regent and Delver reset how big they are. Like it unflips Delver and removes it from combat. It takes all the counters off Murktide Regent and removes it from combat. Obviously, on the draw against 2 of them, I am under the gun very quickly here. If they force of will my Drift, probably just in trouble. But I've given myself a chance to draw out of this and stabilize. A Solitude would be cool. Okay, Flagstones, 1, 2. Astral Drift, cast this. I'm at 9. Oh no. Alright, just... Sure, I will pay for days. You have 2 of them. No! Damn. Lanes enters battlefield tapped. Alright, double days. We're in trouble, team. Just fucking dead to Delver. Literally dead to Lightning Bolt right now. And at 3 with no good removal. Oh, jeez. Alright. Yep, a proper delving there on the Malta 5 on the draw. Good news is Chalice of the Void and Trinisphere are both really good against this deck. So's Endurance. Let's go to the sideboard. Out here trying to have fun in the Legacy queues and people immediately reminding me that Legacy is not a fun place for brews. Okay. Endurance is good. Palace Jeller is risky, but I think it's worth it. What are my bad cards here? I like Confinement and Moonblessed Cleric. I like having access to that. Timeless Dragon's great. Solitude's great. Apparition's great. Night of Autumn doesn't do much. I might back off Eternal Witness a little bit, because that requires a bunch of moving pieces to be in place all at once, and I need to survive before that becomes an issue. Maybe Flicker Wisp is too cute. I mean, it is a flying creature, but I think I want to rely on Solitudes and stuff, and then Elvish Visionary seems to be the worst card left. I don't want to pitch cast Endurance ever in this matchup. I want to cast it. There is an interaction that if you slide a creature out of play, Containment Priest makes it so it doesn't come back. But I don't think I want to lock that in for this matchup. Okay, I'm going to submit my deck. There's also a lot of 1-drops in the sideboard in my Chalice of the Void Trinisphere deck, which means I only want those for emergencies. I'm not going to bring in like a value Veil of Summer that, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, isn't even going to work. Okay, I'm going to keep this. This is doing a lot of things that I want. I have a turn 2 Drift and Timeless Dragon to cycle getting Solitude loaded. Ooh, opponent wants to play Draw Go. I'm in for that. Oh, nice. I didn't want to cast Drift into Daze, but I would love to put this Chalice of the Void on the stack now. Force pitching Brainstorm. Okay, deal. Wasteland's a little annoying here if they have it, but they also don't have a threat, so it's not as bad as it could be. Ledger Shredder. Okay. Yep, that's a legal card in the format. Life from the Loam. Cool. I'm just going to keep bashing myself here, try to get this Drift into play. Resolved. And Drift knocks the counters off of Ledger Shredder as well. See if we can get something set up here. Moonblessed Cleric. Okay. I don't want to cast Solitude into Daze. If I use Moonblessed Cleric, what am I searching for? Probably nothing. This is just like not even a card I want to use right now. Yeah. I don't even need a Loam either, because then I have to... Alright, yeah, I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm going to cycle Timeless Dragon and slide the Shredder out of play. And then that gives me a land to cast Solitude. Yep, slide out the Shredder. Already getting some slide value here. Already exposed to Wasteland, might as well just keep making my mana good. Shredder comes back. Solitary Confinement. That's the card I would have tutored for with Cleric. Lucky. I think I just want to put my dragon into play. Make you do something about this uncounterable 4/4, and then think about the rest of the game. Didn't get Brazen Bard in the end step. Like that. Progressive Iteration, likely to trigger Ledger Shredder here. I got my Loam, really need a cycle land. Wasteland, I don't care about that. Explosives on 0. Oh, because I've shown you Chalice? Sure. Discarded Daze. Oh, right. My creature in play is a token. Yeah, that works. I was so excited about my dragon. Forgot about the obvious rules of how cards work. Another Loam. I could go for Solitude here. Could also play Solitary Confinement here. But I don't have a Cycler, so that's not going to actually do anything. Is there an enchantment I'd want to search for? Get a second Drift. Not even good. I could get cast out. Don't really care about that. I kind of want a Cycler available before I go for Solitude, but I might not have the luxury. I'm going to Loam. And do I want to cast my Moonblessed Cleric? I could search up the dog. I'm probably going to Dredge Loam this turn, though. I'm going to pass and Dredge Loam this turn. I want to get Solitude into play when I can cycle and protect it from Lightning Bolt. Guess I should have put Yorion in my hand there. Wasn't really using the mana otherwise. Mystic Sanctuary, getting back EI. Powerful stuff. Big 2 from the Shredder. Wasting me into my Loam. You got it. Is it Murk time? Is indeed Murk time, which comes with a Connive. Right, this would be a great time to find some cycle land action. Another basic plains. I am going to Dredge Loam. Found a cycle land. Cool. Loam. Target Flagstones. Windswept Heath. And the cycle land. Forcing that. Oh, that's fun, because I have another one. Tranquil Thicket, Flagstones, Windswept Heath. We're back in there. Please don't have another force. You connive. I pick up these things. I play my Flagstones and then pitch cast Solitude. Exile Murktide and cycle Tranquil Thicket. Now we're going. I am going to Dredge Loam. Kill the Murktide. Move to my end step. And get rid of the Shredder as well. Okay, cool. We're in the Slide Town. I have the Loam lock with Solitary Confinement. Let's see what they can do about this. We got a "that was dope" from the chat. I agree. That was dope concession. That's what we wanted out of this deck. Second Loam coming in clutch there. If they didn't have Graveyard Hayden before, they're going to now. Maybe I do want Flicker Wisp. Is that possible? It does just come down and flicker a Murktide or Delver or something, get it out of the way. Knowing their Ledger Shredder makes that smaller too. Nah, there's a bunch of better removal in the deck already. Let's go. Same 80. Oh, I got a Slide, 3 Loams, Thicket. This hand is almost great. What it's missing is a non-Thicket green source. I'm going to keep though. It's a lot of Loams. I'm going to get obliterated by Surgical, but I'm insulated against Force of Negation. I'm going to play the Thicket. Unfortunately, that is the green source that I have right now. Didn't get wasted. Ledger Shredder. Deck, come on now. Oh, would have been rewarded if I had waited. I'm going to fetch for Savannah and then play Loam on my Heath. Delver didn't flip. Under, okay. Maybe I should have gotten Basic Forest, so if they waste me, it has to target Thicket. Yeah, that makes sense. There's Wasteland. Bummer. Yeah, if I had fetched Basic, they would have had to take out Thicket, and it's better in my hand than not in my hand. Now they're just blazing lightning bolts at me. I'm not going to Dredge Loam. My hand's already full of those. I'm going to get Basic Forest this time, and Loam again. And discard this Savannah, I guess. Delver flipped Revealing Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we're just going to get smoked here. No disruption. Got Wastelanded. I'm trying to have fun. Delver's out here telling me that's not allowed in Legacy. We did have one sweet game where I got to maneuver my way into a Solitude Flicker lock. Oh yeah, this one is not winnable. I'm pretty sure the ancient versions of this deck played Wrath of God, so you could like slide your creatures out, Wrath of God, and then they'd slide back in. Legacy's too fast for all that, though. Not gonna Dredge. I could recruit for Solitude, pitchcast Solitude, but there's too many creatures. Okay, the fun police showed up. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. And I am under arrest. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw in round 2. First appearance of Mox Diamond. I'm going to keep this one. The old turn 1 Mox Diamond Spirited Companion. Are you ready, opponent? Are you ready for this? Let's hope they're a deck that Solitude's good. Misty Rainforest, Island. Change their mind, pass the turn. Okay, deal. A second Spirited Companion. That's so lucky. Companion, go. Amazing. All right, even drew a land. Let's go. Yavimaya Island. Whatever this is, I'm excited about it. Zenith for 1. Okay. Probably a matchup where Solitude's going to be good. All right, backup Flagstones. I get to float white, play Flagstones, keep the untapped one, get a trigger. I think I'm going to put basic planes into play rather than Savannah. Just play around the, I don't know if we want to call it likely or just possible wastelands. Here's Astral Drift. We're in there. Battle Cruiser operational. I got the Solitudes. I got white card to pitch. I got a cycle effect. I'm ready to do this thing. Slow Gurk. Claimer gets to connect for 1. Another Solitude. Okay. I can Spirited Companion try to draw a card. I could pitch Spirited Companion to Solitude, get my damage in. Alright. I'm going to keep the Solitudes in my hand and pitch the backup Spirited Companion. Exile Slow Gurk and cycle Tranquil Thicket. Flickering Solitude. Yep. You drew Edge of Autumn? Okay, that's another cycle. And I have the Flagstones to make it nuts. Slogurk left play, so they get their Misty Rainforest back. To attack for 1. And then my pal comes back. And we clear out the Reclaimer. Oh, my lands are all forests for Yavimaya too. I could have cast Edge of Autumn. I think it's better as a cycle effect though. Prismatic Ending. I'm gonna float a green and cycle in response. This lets me draw a card with the dog. And since my opponent generously has a Yavimaya in play, I'm just gonna keep getting basics. To draw a card for that. Life from the Loam. Hell yeah. Unfortunately, my engine's gone. But I play more of those, don't worry. They're coming. Reclaimer. And dog comes back, I draw a card. Eternal Witness someday. That'll be good. Oh. This changes my play. I was going to Loam, but I'm just going to cast Solitude now. Another one. And I get to start gaining life. If I get above 20, then I don't care about Merit Lage. Horizon Canopy. Are we going to see that pop right away? Are you going to Zenith for 4? Do you have your own Solitudes? What's going on here? Be holding up Crop Rotation, I guess. I'm going to play my land and attack. And we'll see what they got for me here. Endurance. Is that what's happening? Crop Rotation. Okay. What are we rotating for? Dark Depths. Cool. All right, I'm ready for that one. Oh, we're just spinning it up right now. Deal. Surely I would not have 3 Solitudes in the top cards of my 80 card deck. Don't call me Shirley. Here is the 3rd Solitude. Pew 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 pew. Okay, gotta deal 40 damage now. That's all right. I got time. About to get my engine set up. Oh, 3 ball. Okay. Green, colorless, Life from the Loam, target the cycle land and the 2 flagstones. Flagstones into play, and I'm going to cast Trinisphere. Let's freeze you up, slow you down. Endurance probably one of the best draws, but might have just enduranced the Loam. Yep, okay. Or just have the best draw. That's cool. I would rather have Loam in my hand in an empty graveyard, or is that true? Yeah, I think that's true. I'm going to cycle and dredge Loam. Yep. 1 draw step was the best card possible. Fair enough. It's fine. It's fine. I'm still doing okay here. I have double flagstones plus Loam, so there'll always be targets. Eternal Witness can pick up this Solitude. Play to Dryad Arbor. Float. I should make green with flagstones. Green. Keep the untapped one. Search up a Savannah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. That's enough to do all sorts of stuff. 2, 3. Eternal Witness. Target Solitude. Bring it back. Solitude. And that'll get the concession. The 4th Solitude of the game. That was fun. I like playing against these fair decks a lot more than Delver. Delver Nut draws on the play versus Slowgurk. I'll take this one every time. I like Palace Jailer. I think I like Endurance. I will consider my Endurance options in a minute here. They're kind of a big mana deck too, or at least like a scrappy mid-range deck. I don't know that Trinisphere is where I want to be. I still like Chalice. They have way more 1-drops than I do. I have 0, for the record, if anyone's counting at home. Their Zenith deck, Containment Priest, shuts off my drifting and sliding, but it also turns their drifting and sliding into removal spells and stops Zenith from happening. I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to save that for exclusively busted decks like Reanimator and Sneak Attack. This hand is not a keeper. Mox Diamond, but nothing to discard. Send it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to keep this one, and I'm not keeping both Mox Diamonds, so there we go. I was about to mull to 5. I was thinking what the second card is, but it's the redundant Mox Diamond is what we send. Reclaimer, you got it. That was a good draw. I don't think I'm gonna Mox Diamond, or I could Mox Diamond, discard Savannah, cast Edge of Autumn, and just double ramp. Oh, that's actually the play. I'm gonna Mox Diamond, discard Savannah. Opponent probably has Force of Vigors in their deck at this point. For the first time in history, cast on purpose in Legacy, not cycled. Whatever, I'll pass turn 1 with 3 mana in play. That works for me. Brainstorm. Cute. Brainstorm into Basic Forest. Not pretty. Solitude. Do I want to play Tranquil Thicket and Recruiter? Do I want to play Drift and Thicket? Do I want to play Drift and not Thicket? I think I need to recruit. I want to keep moving this game forward. I don't want to just slam into Force of Vigor by tapping out for Astral Drift and passing the turn. Figure out what I'm doing here. I already have a Solitude. Palace Jailer actually looks pretty fucked up here. Yeah, if they don't come up with a second creature or a way to stop this, that's going to be a huge problem. I wish it was a surprise, but it's not going to get to be a surprise. Instead of crop rotation. Okay, that shuffles away the Brainstorm. Flagstones, getting the engine set up here. 3 mana, that's an unfair number. Burrow. Yep, that's a card that is likely to be in your deck. It makes perfect sense. Did not make a land drop out of Uro. That means the hand is all spells. Flagstones. I'm just going for my Jailer. Let's go. If you force this, it's still 2 cards, and I get Solitude chilling. We're in there. Take your creature. I become the Monarch. There's no mana available to rotate into Dryad Arbor in the end step, so I'm not going to worry about that. And I draw Skyclave Apparition. Hand's loaded up with removal. And I'm the Monarch. And I have more money, or more money, more mana than the Bant ramp deck over there. I might have more money than them too. I am a Monarch. Land go. Endurance is a concern at this point. Drift costs 2 to, or no, it costs 3 to cycle shit. All right, well, I'm going to cast a Drift and just pass the turn. I'm not going to let Endurance take my Monarch or kill one of my creatures for free. If I draw a card with cycling that I can cycle, it's extra good here. Oh my god, what? Endurance kills my graveyard, and okay. They could Sejiri Step. Swords of Plowshares, pretty good. Another Swords of Plowshares, pretty good. I am going to pitch cast the Solitude. They could crop rotate into Sejiri Step. They could have Force Blue card, but those things aside, being the Monarch's more important than anything else going on right now. Okay, nice. Loam targeting Forest and Heath. They got Loam stuff going on now. My own Endurance. All right, you don't have Loam stuff going on anymore. I'm just going to Endurance right now, face up. Take your Uro, take your Loam, get him out. Splat. I get a card in the end step. This Endurance also blocks the Dryad Arbor. It could come out of this thing. There it is. And I draw a Cycler, so I'm not going to lose the Monarch this turn. I can slide Dryad Arbor out of play if they have a removal spell. Knight of the Reliquary. Okay. I can answer that with Skyclave Apparition and then slide my Apparition to answer the next thing. Cool thing about Apparition plus slide is if you slide Apparition out, they get the token, then you can slide the token and it's gone forever. 1, 2, 3. Skyclave Apparition. Eat your Knight of the Reliquary, please. And I don't have enough mana yet to cast Drift and slide twice. I'm just going to pass the turn. Still not attacking. I'm going to hide behind the Monarchy one more turn. Glad I did. Look at that. A second creature. Surprise, surprise. Draw another slide. Cool. Opponent's in top deck mode. What you got for me? Another Knight. Okay. I'm going to be doing some sliding here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can play the second slide. I think I should... Do I want to get... I have to decide now if I'm going to do any sliding. I can slide or cycle Astral Drift, which does what? Exiles 2 things. I'm just going to cycle the Thicket in the end step and slide out my Skyclave Apparition. Knight of the Reliquary and everything that implies is so much worse than just a 3/3. And then I can... Alright, cool. Drew another one. I can play actual slide here. And I can save Astral Drift, which now exiles 3 things. Yeah, I'm just going to chill. Keep being the Monarch. Opponent's Hellbent. I got my whole engine online. Just drew Loam. Tranquil Thicket is online. And they've had quite enough. That was a showcase of what this deck used to do in lower power formats. This is exactly the type of crushing endgame against other fair decks that they can't keep up with. Feels good to be on the board. Let's keep rolling. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. On the play, round 3, I'm beginning to wonder if there's enough lands in this deck. Secluded Step and no other lands. I'm going to mulligan this. That one's better. I'm going to keep this and bottom probably Solitary Confinement. Keeping this one and sending the Solitary Confinement. Opponent's on 7 over there. I think I put one of these Chalices on 0. There's enough decks in Legacy that affects, especially with Mishra's Bauble being a card in a lot of decks. Secluded Step, tapped, and Chalice on 0. This turns off my Mox Diamonds, but let's hope, if that matters, it's not for a long time. Schadenport. Schadenport decks probably don't have a lot of zeros in them. Let's add a 1 to the party. They should have predicted this because people don't just slam Chalice on 0 in blind matchups if they don't have a second copy. Vial's kind of troublesome. Uh-oh, what's coming in here? Esper Sentinel. That's probably going to draw some cards. I was really looking forward to Edge of Autumn to ramp. Let's just draw a land so I don't have to do that. Oh, right. That's not how that works because I have Schadenport. Okay. Land? Oh, no. My companion. That would be so good. Yeah, we're probably going to die to Aether Vial here. I at least have a consolation prize against Wasteland, which is I can cycle away the land they try to waste. But I definitely prefer none of that even happen. Yikes. Tapping my forest. Oh, they let me get to my draw step, which was generous. They must have a better plan for this Wasteland. No, what's all this? Stoneforge? Where are we going? Lion Sash, sure, whatever. Attack for 2 here. I have the Emergency Solitude. I'm going to try to hold on, though. They're not really bashing for that much just yet. Recruiter, disappointing. That does tap them out into giving me mana for a turn. Hope I can punish. Oh, yikes. I don't like this Vial on 3, and they just paid 3 mana to do this. Like, there's real cost to tapping your mana, and they didn't even get a 3-drop, so there's probably a Flicker Wisp over there. Okay, I have the trick here. I'm going to get basic planes. It's already a Wasteland. I can drift. They get to draw a card. But getting this into play is step 1. I have the pitch something to Solitude, then free cycle the Solitude. I have it. It's there. Can't pay 1 to prevent it. As much as I'd like to. Okay, were you holding back Flicker Wisp or were you holding back Skyclave Apparition? The fact they're operating in my main phase makes me think it's Wisp, which is perfect. All ready for this? Exile my... I think I want to keep Spirited Companion because I'm never going to cast this Recruiter. They have Wasteland and Port. Okay. I'm going to cast Solitude. Roast your Recruiter. And cycle, sacking my Secluded Step. Flicker out the Solitude. Get to draw a card. Let's hope it's Mana Source. Another Drift. Maybe someday. Unfortunately, I know that Stoneforge Mystic is looming. I'm going to take out this... Oh no, the Lion Sash can get so big. I'm going to take out Lion Sash. I'm actually more worried about that because I am a Loam deck. Try to race this Flicker Wisp with my lifelink. You've got your own Solitude. Pitching Swords to Plowshares. Alright, yeah, I guess that was going to happen anyway. Cool. A Bloodbath. But they have Stoneforge Mystic left over and still have Schadenport active. That was pretty cool. Unfortunately, dying to Aether Vial. In for 4. Stoneforge does not come out of Vial, though, so yeah, they have to tap out of Port to do it, unless they have a land drop. Then my Spirited Companion can ride. Alia, okay. Cool. Did not commit to Stoneforge. Oh, another one. Alright, I'm going to hold on to this Secluded Step. That's for next turn. We're going to rip another double Solitude. And they took a turn off the Stoneforge Mystic. I appreciate it. Here's Stoneforge. I will totally trade with Esper Sentinel if it's offered. Umezawa's Jitte. That card's pretty bad against Astral Drift. Take my beats here. Draw a land. Hooray. Now I can cycle Drift and slide 2 things, but that's not where I want to be. I need to do a Yorion shit or a Solitude shit. Solitude, pitch Astral Drift. Gotta go after the Stoneforge, even though I don't like it. I'm gonna stack the Exile first, so I know that the creature's gone before I flicker. Okay. Cycle Secluded Step, slide out Solitude. And I get to draw a card, Eternal Witness. Maybe next turn. Pretty good stuff. And I want to clear the Flicker Wisp. That's the flying creature. Umezawa's Jitte costs 3 because of Thalia. All of this made possible by that turn that they spent to casting a spell instead of porting me. Like, I'm no death and taxes expert. It just felt like that was a pretty aggressive line for no reason. They're casting their Jite, sure. That means I get to Eternal Witness. Uh-oh. What's this shit? Something coming in. Apparition. Take out my drift. Okay. Life just got harder. Fruiter of the Guard. Not helpful, unfortunately. I mean, maybe long term. You grab Knight of Autumn. Plains. That should have been a forest. What am I doing? Eternal Witness is literally right there in my hand. Get Knight of Autumn here. No attacks. I'm gonna need to, or I can't even really block the Thalia. I should have attacked with Solitude there. Because if I double block Thalia, First Strike gives it +2 counters, and then it can be a 4/3 before damage is dealt. 2 ports. Ruh-roh. And once again, getting picked apart by either Vial. A BoshNRoll channel staple. I'm also at 5 somehow, or just hemorrhaging life total. Come on, green source. Green source off the top. Oh, they left me with a green source. Any land off the top. It's not pretty, but I'll take it. Okay, I'm at 3. Here's the Knight of Autumn that you saw. Sorry, Umezawa's Jite. I'm gonna lose Solitude on the way out here. Yep, minusing on the Solitude. Getting rid of that one. And now First Strike is going to dominate this game. If they attack with everything, I have to line up blocks on everything. I guess that's not true. I can let Thalia through go to 1, trade with the other 2 creatures. That's the... Or no, this is a 2/1. I thought they were all 1/1s. Nope, there is an extra point of power, so they don't have just an elbow tap. I think just Thalia put me to... Alright, they disagree. Okay, block, block, block. This puts a 3/3 into play for me. This is bigger than Thalia. Last I counted. They have Vial on 3. They're up to 5 mana. Swords of Plowshares doesn't work because of the Chalice. Just gotta hope their hand sucks. Wasteland my Ancient Tomb. Sure, I wasn't gonna tap that. They can port me twice here. Come on, lands. Oh, Life from the Loam. If I ever get a window against this Rishadan port, we're just right back in this. Left Violet 3. Not running up to the Yorion here. Alright, deck. Come on, green source off the top. Green source, green source, green source, green source. Any land, any land, any land, any land. We did it. We drew any land. Secluded Step, and Windswept Heath into my hand. Oh, no, there's Thalia in play. Shit. Pass the turn, pass the turn. You saw nothing. Uh-oh, that's Solitude mana. They don't seem to have it. Okay, green source, green source. Let's do this again. Alright, they're going after my green now. Smart. Figured it out. And white's probably the better color than green if you can take me off a color, but you can't take me off colors here. Green source, green source. Green card, boo, boo, boo. This game's going much longer than I thought it was going to. This Vial could have been on 5 2 turns ago, and Yorion could be killing me right now. They must have another Thalia? Or what's going on here? What is this attack? Oh, an Iganjo? Okay, a second Iganjo. That makes sense. That does it. They can port me once here. Take me off green. Alright, untapped, pain-free green source. I found exactly that. Secluded Step, and Windswept Heath doesn't help me here, but I'm still going to take it. Alright, cool. I go to 1, and I get a turn to operate with mana under me, and I can cycle this Secluded Step in the meantime to try to find more stuff. Okay, I'm at 1. And step, cycle. Can't Dredge Loam here. That's a drift. I think I should cycle Secluded Step here. Because I'm going to have to cycle Drift to take Thalia out of play. Not going to Dredge Loam. I drew another one anyway. Just like we drew it up. Right, tap my other green, that's fine. Not dredging Loam. And Ancient Tomb is worse than Windswept Heath, though they are pretty close. Yeah, they're basically the same card. They're both unusable. Ancient Tomb works with Solitary Confinement in play, though, and Windswept Heath doesn't. So I'm going to pass here, and I'm going to slide Thalia out. Not the Hail Mary I want to be throwing right now. Still not Dredging Loam. My hand's full of those. Flicker Wisp, okay. Give you a dose of your own medicine here. And take me off green still. Then I can flicker... what, Vial? Flicker my own land? Flickering my land doesn't help. I need to draw Solitude right now. That's what needs to happen. Not Dredging Loam and Trinosphere. That's not it. Okay, Flicker Wisp. Get in there. Resetting this Vial might be good for them, but most of their scariest things are 3-drops. Yeah, these ports really good. I think if I stabilized at even 2 life instead of 1, now they have a 3rd planes to support their 3rd port. Support. Get it? Not many good draws left in my deck here. Knocking me off all my green sources and an extra white for good measure. Okay. And removal spell, Skyclave Apparition. Oh no! The 3rd port was what they needed. Crushing. That was exactly the card I wanted. Alright, I'll make them attack me one more time. Yeah, resetting the Vial, the way that this game played out, certainly looked like they had a handful of 1-drops. Yeah, this game brought to you by Rishadenport. Powerful magic card. Big old juicy design mistake. Okay, what are we doing? Palace Jailer, Peacekeeper. Containment Priest is dangerous because we both have flicker effects. We can just knock each other's stuff out. Collector Oof, big fan. I don't think this is a Trinosphere matchup. I like Chalice still because they have a bunch of 1s and I don't, but Trinosphere seems pretty bad. And among the cards left in my deck, there is Endurance and Containment Priest. And I think it's Priest. I will take the risk here. 2 Yorion decks, 2 Flicker Wisp decks. Mutually assured destruction with the Containment Priest. Okay, I got Loam here, some basic lands to play on. I'm going to keep. I'm going to lead on Flagstones. For how excited I was to keep this hand, it does very little. But these are all long-term investments, and this game is likely to go long. Pass with my Flagstones. Ooh, Plains go. Hell yeah. I would have enjoyed drawing a fetch land there to try to get my Loam off the ground, but I'll play a Plains instead. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Yep, that's a card. Not anymore. Spallette. Get that out of here. Ruin my plans of playing Astral Slide this turn. I'm mad about it. Another Thalia. Okay. I'm going to summon Astral Slide to the battlefield. I have the 4 mana for it. Let's go. Hand's got a couple of cyclers in it. If I find a cycle land, Loam's ready to rip. Council's Judgment. Okay. Astral Slide is gone. Not a big deal. Ooh. Astral Drift. With a cycle effect available. Ancient Tomb, kind of rough when we're in a damage race, but we're only kind of in a damage race, only in the sense that every match is going to come down to our life totals, but not in the sense that either of us are in danger of dying. Apparition, bummer. I think, so if I cycle in response and blink Apparition, then this is gone and I don't get a 3/3. I could, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cycle in response, drifting out my Apparition, give them a 2/2, then they take my drift, and then my Apparition comes back, take their Apparition, and then I have a 3/3 versus their 2/2 and 2/1. I can't plow here because of Thalia. There's a 2/2. Ooh, I can cycle again. Cool. Cycle Secluded Step, which can delete your token permanently. That worked out even better than I hoped. Fun deck. I understand the appeal. Wasteland. They haven't seen Loam yet this game. I kind of hope I do get Wastelanded here. Give me some value off that Loam. This Wasteland out of play. Bummer. That was a good play. 2 cards in hand plus Umezawa's Jitte. I'm still going to take your Skyclave Apparition. I think I'd rather have a 3/3 and a 2/2 on this board versus Jitte than take the Stoneforge. Could be a juke, but I don't really care if it is. Fetch, get basic forest. Or I'll just get Savannah. Just make the mana good. 1, 2, 3. Light from the Loam, paying the Thalia tax. And Flagstones +2. Do I want to put Peacekeeper in and try to hold the fort with Peacekeeper alone? Do I want to bash for 5, then play Peacekeeper? I could also just hold out on my Peacekeeper. I could cycle and see what I come up with. I guess cycling first is pretty much free. Oh, I could even dredge Loam, play Loam again. I'm not going to dredge Loam. Okay, that was a good draw. And I'm just going to pass the turn, see what they come up with. Solitude gives me a lot of breathing room. See if we end up tangling with this Thalia in combat or what's going on here. Did we get juked? Is there a Cauldron in the hand? There's not. Okay. And I think I should pitch Solitude here. The alternative is I could block with my Illusion, which just dies. I think I want Solitude in play as a game object. I'm just going to take this. Not going to dredge Loam. Already got a handful of lands. Recruiter. I could get Palace Jailer here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not bad. Or is it bad? Let's see. I end up with Recruiter in play, Palace Jailer in play, and Illusion in play versus their 3/3 if they decide to kill my Apparition and Stoneforge Mystic holding Jitte. Oh, I can still pitch cast Solitude though. No, we're good. The Recruiter, the Guard. Get after it. Palace Jailer. Let's jail up this palace. Thalia out of here. I don't get to attack this turn. I gotta be careful. Also gotta watch my clock because I am 2 minutes ahead of them and I would like to keep my time advantage if this game gets really sloggy, which I think it's about to be. They're probably gonna light up my Apparition in the end step, which gives them the most creatures to play the game with next turn. Unless they're just holding Cauldra, but I have Solitude for that, so that's okay. All right. Okay, we got Swords to Plowshares and Jitte to interact with the board. Good stuff. Mox Diamond was the draw. That probably better than Ancient Tomb. I mean, March of Otherworldly Light. Okay, removal spells going nuts here. Thought I have the Solitude. Yeah, picked off my Recruiter. Here we go. Party time. Wow, didn't attack with the Stoneforge. That means I just get to chump block. Is that better than Solitude? I mean, Solitude is just such a fucking magic card when it's in play. Alright, I'm gonna let Jitte get some counters. Flicker Wisp, okay. Flickering Stoneforge, yeah. Is this the time? It's not the time, okay. Unfortunate. It was a really good last 3 cards in hand, as usual. Gotta think about if I'm dredging Loam or not. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. That's enough to get and cast Yorion, but not do anything else with it. I can Solitude something. If I dredge Loam, it gets the Secluded Step, but there's only 1 redraw in there. I'm just going to draw for turn. That wasn't what I wanted. That does give me 1 extra mana, though. They tutored up Lion Sash. Oh, yikes. Assume they would get the other thing, the Cauldron to put the boots to me. 1, 2, 3. I think Mox Diamond, discarding my Ancient Tomb. And then 1, 2, 3. Put Yorion in hand. And play my land. Pass and see what the Monarch comes up with. Astral Slide right on time. Maybe next turn, if there is a next turn. I'm going to lose the Monarch here, and Lion Sash is going to eat my Secluded Step. Yeah, we're a little late to the party here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Solitude. Exile the creature. It gets to kill Solitude with its Jitte tokens. Then I take 4 and lose the Monarch, and they get their Thalia back. I wish this was the other slide. Okay. Yeah, we're not winning this one unless they time out, probably. They get Thalia back, and they're the Monarch. There's Lion Sash. Just gonna just eat my Loam right away. Yep, Loam's gone. Gotta raw dog this one. And Caracas? Was that in play the whole game? Was that their draw for the turn? It was. They drew Caracas after I just wished for my Legend. Cool. Okay, Drift and Slide. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can tap Ancient Tomb one more time this game. 3, 4. Play Slide. 1, 2, 3. I'm a mana short of doing all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I can play Slide and then Slide Drift, exile 2 creatures. Are any 2 creatures not lethal? Damn, yeah, I'm mana short. The Thalia coming back into play, creating an extra attacker and making this stuff cost more. The double whammy. Okay, I'll play Astral Slide. The Jitte can kill Peacekeeper, so I need to like trick them into not killing me somehow. Which basically means they have to put Jitte on the wrong creature. Use your Restoration Angel off your trigger. That's a card in your deck and also a card you just drew. Outrageous. Okay. Alright, yeah. My opponent strung together the 3 cards in their hand to completely clear my board and take the Monarch. And then, yeah, and then drew Caracas for their 1 draw for turn when I just, just classic Death and Taxes shit where the top 18 cards of their deck was better than the top 23 cards of mine. Welcome to Death and Taxes. And it took the entire round to lose 2-0. Ooh, great deck. Good times. On to the next one. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw round 4 with mono 3 drops, no acceleration, no disruption. This one's going to get mulliganed. Okay, I'm going to keep this one. It got more upside than the last one did. This one at least like has an engine online and is explosive. Oh god. 60 card Death and Taxes again? Really? We're doing this again? And I'm not really worried about this matchup. It's just like weird that you would see it twice. I guess this could be Aspervile or some other deck with Caracas. Cavern on what? Sliver. Oh, it's Slivers. Okay. Alright. We're cool with Slivers. Yeah, Crystalline Sliver's fucking unbeatable, though. Yeah. Getting handled by dumb creature decks left and right. Cycle. Solitude, that's good against creature decks, right? Nope, Crystalline Sliver. You ever read that one before? Can't even slide it out of play. Just Shroud. Straight up Shroud. I could set up I could cheese out a Solitude much faster than turn 5. I guess. Oh, not much faster. I guess it would happen turn 4 if it happens. Alright, haste. Cool. Everything I thought I knew about combat math is wrong. Oh yeah. Bring it. What can even happen here that does anything? I don't think there is a card in my deck, not in my main deck anyway, that helps me here. Nope. Can't interact with anything they're doing. I'll cycle the Thicket and take a look, but pretty sure we are already dead. Yep. Crystalline Sliver, folks. The game went from trivial to unwinnable based on that one card being present. Peacekeeper is really good in this matchup. Gonna get a Peacekeeper here. Endurance, I like the big body. It can tangle with the uncounterable slivers. Or untouchable uncounterable slivers. They are an Aethervial deck. But I don't think that means I want Containment Priest. There's a bunch of haste creatures in their deck. Not really interested in Palace Jailer. Flickerous can fly, Solitary Confinement can win the game. They are a big time Chalice deck with basically no spells in it. Or a big time Cavern deck. If they don't have Cavern, Chalice is really good. It also stops Aether Vial. It's a deck with horrendous mana, considering they get to play a bunch of pain-free 5-color lands, still terrible mana. I don't think Cast Out's going to find a spot. But I guess it's like, am I just off Chalice and on this bigger stuff, or do I think Chalice is going to work? I think I'd rather have Trina Sphere than Chalice. Okay, I'm trying like this. Okay, I get to accelerate into an Astral Slide. I'm going to keep this one. I guess that assumes I find a land. No promises. This might be an Edge of Autumn as Rampant Growth game. Not since the days of Time Spiral Limited, as that happens so often. I could even do it now. That's probably better. Yeah, I'm just going to ramp now. Passing turn 1 with 3 mana in play. That feels good. Gale Rider Sliver. Okay, no Cavern, no Vial. This would have been a great game to have Chalice of the Void in my deck. Okay, I'm going to... I could Spirited Companion draw a card, but that's not going to spend all my mana this turn. I can Eternal Witness, or I could get Slide into play. I think I want to get Slide into play. Everything else will fall into place from there. There was a Cavern. They tricked me. And Crystalline Sliver right on time. Right, Peacekeeper's at least in my deck this time. It's out there somewhere. That's a cycle effect if I want it. Probably don't. But I'm going to cast the Dog. Or I think I should Eternal Witness. Pick up the Secluded Step and make a land drop this turn. I have Edge of Autumn if I want Secluded Step back in my graveyard later. Oh god, they have Surgical? Well... Did I play Loam game 1? Did I even show them that I do this? I guess I did. I'm gonna cycle away my planes. Oh wait, this doesn't work because it's not a flicker. Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, that's gone. Sure. Yeah, if this was a flicker, I would have flickered Eternal Witness and picked this up, but it exiles until end of turn. Does not even solve the problem that is in front of me. The thing I could do is cycle Edge of Autumn, exile Eternal Witness, draw a card, and then Eternal Witness pick up the land I just cycled. But it doesn't really do anything. But it gets me 1 card deeper into my deck by setting me back a land that I may or may not hit anyway. And I'm basically just trying to race to a Peacekeeper. That's my only real plan in this matchup. Okay, now we're doing something. Spirited Companion, let's go. I can attack into this 2/2. In for 2, no way they're going to block. Then I'm going to cycle my Tranquil Thicket. Flicker my Spirited Companion. I think drawing a card's better than doing Eternal Witness stuff here. I can't block anyway. Just trying to find that Peacekeeper or some route to it. Okay. Dog comes back and I draw a card. There's a route to Peacekeeper. I don't think I have enough time to execute it though. Taking 7 on board. Okay, now I'm taking 10 on board. Yeah, I'm just dead. I have to find Peacekeeper off the top, or like Solitude one of my own creatures or something. Crystalline Sliver, just cutting all my outs out. In Recruiter for Solitude, Solitude Pitch Bearer Companion, Flicker Solitude with Cycle. Works, stabilizes this game, except that it doesn't. And we're dead. I guess if I Spirited Companion into Peacekeeper and then cycle into a land, we still have an out here. Spirited Companion. Looking for a 1 out of 62. Okay. I mean, that can still cast Peacekeeper. And cycle, sacrifice this forest, slide out the Spirited Companion, and draw Peacekeeper. Cast out. Nope, not helpful. It is a redraw though. Cycling cast out. I got another look. Slide out the Spirited Companion. And draw Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper? Shit. Alright, we're dead. Yep, a full match brought to you by Crystalline Sliver. That is the reason to play this deck. It's just a completely messed up card. I'm going to take these Spirited Companion draws just to know how close I was. Yeah, if I drew this Ancient Tomb for turn instead of on the first cycle, we would have been able to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. But instead we're done. GG's. Crystalline Sliver. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw with a turn 1 Chalice. I'm going to keep and hope being on the draw holds up here. Misty Rainforest. Okay, cool. Oh. Okay. I'm going to Mox Diamond and then play Drinosphere. 3-ball. First turn 1 3-ball of the league. Right here, right on time. Force of Will, pitching Force of Negation. Okay. Interesting they did it that way and not the other way. Like they actively want Force of Will in their graveyard and not Force of Negation. Curious. What do we got here? The Light from the Loam? Nope. Oh no, Prismatic Ending. Shit. Better draw a green source. Wasn't worried. Chalice of the Void on 1. Get in there. And then play Tranquil Thicket and ship it. Okay. That could have been worse. Let's see if they just go land to fairy here. Another ending, that's fine. They're at least still playing this game and they have 1 card in their hand. Do I want to risk the cycle? I guess it's not really a risk. Or I could... I think I want to cast Edge of Bottom here. Is that even true? No, that can't be true. And it gets me up into Solitude. Alright, yeah, I got other cyclers in my deck. Let's get Solitude active. Ponder. Do not shuffle. Pass the turn. I'm gonna Dredge Loam. Ancient Tomb, Flagstones, Moonblast Cleric. Loam these things up. Play Flagstones and Drift. Maybe I'm not supposed to play that. Maybe I'm just supposed to put Yorion in my hand, because now it just gets Prismatic Ending cleanly. I don't know, but having it in play is such an engine. Yep. My opponent is casting Prismatic Ending. Built. Oh, it's Uro. Deal. Uro is both really good and really bad against Astral Drift, because coming in and out of play draws cards, but it doesn't really get to stick around. And I'm going to keep Dredging Loam. I really want to find a cycle land. Still no love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could just cast Yorion right now. Or I could put Yorion in my hand. I'll put Yorion in my hand and represent Solitude. I'm taking a ton of damage from my Ancient Tombs. Ponder. They had blue, green, and decided to Ponder instead of Uro. That's scary. Goes to Shuffle, and now they're going to Uro. I'm going to Solitude Uro in response to the draw trigger. Solitude. Blast this Uro. Put a land in. 1 card left. Hope it's not Swords to Plowshares. I took a draw for turn and it was Life from the Loam. I hate my life from the Loam. Yeah, cycling that Edge of Bottom instead of ramping with it all those turns ago would have been pretty good, it turns out. Do I play Yorion? I think so. Yeah, it's just a big homie. It attacks. Target nothing with Solitude and pass the turn. There are 25 life to my 8. Cycling effect. Do I commit to the dredge? I think so. Cycling effect. I found a Flagstone. It's not really what I wanted. Attack. Okay, they took their damage. Flagstones, Windswept Teeth. Play the other Flagstones, get my trigger. And pass the turn. Field of the Dead. Yikes. Okay. The race is on. I'm going to keep dredging. As soon as we find one of these, we're in business. All right, we got one. Tranquil Thicket, Flagstones, and Plains. Please don't have Force of Negation in your hand. Or Endurance. Okay, we're in there. I'm going to cycle Thicket and Flicker the Zombie. I already have a Loam in my hand, so I'll take a draw this time. Found another Thicket. That's good shit. Attack. And then make white, play Flagstones. Search out another Savannah. Loam from hand, getting back Thicket and Flagstones. Okay, now we're flickering. Wasteland, whatever. Waste my Thicket. Go for it. End step, I'm gonna get rid of the zombie. Use my mana. And I am gonna dredge Loam. Found a dragon. Not gonna dredge another Loam. With your Wispo. Attack. Bonus of 4. And Timeless Dragon. I got plenty of life to use an Ancient Tomb on this one. And play Flagstones for turn. Jot another Plains. I'm gonna cycle Thicket and not gonna slide anything. Or target Yorion for good measure. Guess I might as well slide Yorion. Yeah, that's fine. That gives me some Wrath protection. Found another one. Cycle Step. I'm not gonna slide the Yorion. Chronosphere. And then buy back the 3 cycle lands. And pass the turn. I get back Yorion. The Will Flicker Solitude, which will come back at my opponent's end step. Astral Drift is better than Field of the Dead. You saw it here. My opponent's definitely an Endurance deck. Might be a deck that struggles with Palace Jailer. I'm going to try it. They're going to be a deck that Endurance affects as well. This is some version of Loambant. Chronosphere is probably not going to lock them out of the game. Chalice of the Void is pretty effective, though. Chronosphere messes up their cantrip ability. Maybe I do want Chronosphere around. What do I not want? Knight of Autumn's probably not going to have a lot of action here. Solitude's good, Dragon's good, Cast Out's good. All the slides and drifts are good. Eternal Witness is worse when I expect Graveyard Hate. Loam is really important to the engine. Maybe Flicker Wisp isn't that good. That's kind of more of the same with the slides. Oh shit. I forgot to cut a 4th card. We're playing 81 apparently. In we go. I've been doing that a lot lately. My bad. Chalice of the Void on turn 2 is still effective against this deck. I'm going to keep. I'd like to draw a white source. Or just some land. Cool. I did in fact draw some land. Opponent with the Forest go. What are we doing with that? I am going to cycle Tranquil Thicket in the end step. Found Loam, good stuff. Chalice of the Void. Here's that. There's that. Yep. Tit for tat, around we go. I'm gonna play Spirited Companion and Light from the Loam here. Start with Companion. Woof woof. And Loam. Just shoving Ancient Tomb into a fair deck is pretty cool. Just get to do more stuff than your opponent. Opponent who missed a land drop last turn, by the way. Probably counting on this Ponder to find that land drop and had to answer Chalice instead. Just like we drew it up. Did not shuffle and found a land drop. That's how that works. I'm not going to dredge Loam. I am kind of still in the spell business. I'm going to cast Astral Drift. Let's get this thing in. Start doing dog stuff. Draw an extra cards with my dog. I'm going to cycle now. In case I draw something I want to do in my main phase. It's Flagstones, okay. Still not going to dredge Loam. There's already one in my hand. Brainstorm. Found a fetch land, got red. Okay, it's a Minskin Boo deck. Noted. I have many answers to Uro floating around, Palace Jailer, Skyclave Apparition, etc. I want to respect the Minskin Boo kind of a lot. I'm not going to dredge Loam this turn. I'm going to attack for 1 Plane Cycle and then put my dragon into play. I also just cast the dragon, but that doesn't draw an extra card. And their removal is white anyway. I'm going to Plane Cycle Timeless Dragon and draw an extra card out of the deal. Savannah and Eternalize. Bang. And my dog draws another card. Spirited Companion going off. I have enough stats to fight a Minskin Boo here. I can exile Uro in a variety of ways. Towards the Plowshares, okay. And there's the Minskin Boo. I have Skyclave Apparition for that one. Ooh, they sacrificed the hamster immediately to pick off my dog. Bold, clever, powerful. Surgicaling my loam. Bummer. That gets the one out of my hand that I've been sandbagging forever, but I have land drops and shit to do here for quite some time. Astral Slide. White, white, colorless. Cave Apparition. Get rid of Minsk and Boo. And then I'm going to take 2 to Eternal Witness back the Tranquil Thicket. I think just having that in the mix is going to be relevant. I have good things to flicker now. And I have a second flicker effect. I thought about putting some chokes in the sideboard and then didn't. But if your metagame is fair and blue, it's a good card. Rest of iteration. Time for the deck with card advantage to go nuts. I say, as I have a hand full of card advantage and a cool board. Blooded Strand, exiled off the EI. Is it Uro time? They know I can cycle Tranquil Thicket. They've seen Palace Jailer. The only card in my hand they don't know is the Astral Slide. Put a land into play that was not Field of the Dead. Happy for that. Recruiter, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try the Palace Jailer here. See if I can get away with it. It appears to have resolved. Okay. My opponent's in jail. I'm going to play my other slide, or I'm going to leave basic green up. My opponent already knows about the Tranquil Thicket. I'm not giving away any information here. And I don't think I attack here. I think I want to protect the Monarch and just squat up for at least one more turn, get some cycles, some options, multiple things going in my hand. I can do the Cycle Thicket, Exile, Eternal Witness, and something else line. I don't even really care about Teferi. I do care about Narset. Do I want to drift here? What would I exile? Eternal Witness and Skyclave Apparition? Give you a 4/4 and deal with it later. No, it's fine. Slide's gone. Rest of iteration. Okay. These are the types of turns where Trinisphere is relevant, even though my opponent has a gazillion lands in play. Just the cantrip into action turns. If you only get 3 spells a turn instead of like 5 or 6, it matters. In the main phase, I'm going to cycle and exile Eternal Witness and see if I can get some value here. Exile Witness, draw a card, end of turn Witness comes back and rebuy the Thicket. Endurance breaks this up. All right, looks like they got one. Sure. Not a problem. It was going to get me eventually. Might as well do it on my terms in the end step when I'm about to unsap and do stuff. Okay, draw for turn. Found another cycler. So I can go 1, 2, 3, Trinisphere, lock out Force of Will. Not that I'm super worried about that, but here it is. We get some action in response. So it Swords to Plowshares on my Apparition. Not on my watch. Cycle Secluded Step. I will at least get my Apparition back this way. You get your 4/4, and then I get my Trinisphere, and Recruiter of the Guard is a creature with stats that can attack and block. And do I want to recruit for Recruiter? I could get another Eternal Witness and get the loop going again. Solitude seems pretty good at this point. I could play Elvish Visionary right now. That's not even good. Okay, I think I just want Solitude. Just protect the house. No attacks. In the end step, I draw a card and I get to exile the Endurance and pass the turn. Opponent doesn't get Velocity here because of the Trinisphere. They can still cast 3 spells in a turn, but not more than that. Well, 3 mana Brainstorm. Feels bad. I can Yorion next turn for big money. Wasteland. I don't think I care about that. Minsk and Boo. Okay. This was one of the cards that I cared about. If there was a card I cared about, it was that one. Ace Trample can fight over the Monarch. Monarchy gets Uro back into play. Block the 4/4 and double block the Hamster, or do I want to triple block it? Make sure that Swords to Plowshares isn't a blowout. 1 card left in their hand. What if it's Plow? What if it's not? Those are the questions I'm asking myself. Okay. I'm going to block with everything. This gives my opponents a lot of choices, but it clears, at least clears the boo for the turn. Left me with Skyclave Apparition. Okay. Sylvan Library. Not bad. It's going to be a big Yorion turn, I think. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I could Solitude. I could attack Minsc and Boo. And then Yorion does what? I wish there was a creature in my deck that could cycle. That would be good technology here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I am a mana short of Solituding and recruiting for Eternal Witness and Witnessing. But Eternal Witness is pretty good here. I'm going to recruit her. Get a Witness to pick up Secluded Step. Eternal Witness. Witness. Picks up Secluded Step. Put that in my hand. That can clear Boo if it needs to. And then I can put Yorion in my hand. And finally, the cycle is not casting a spell. Deck building has come up here. I'm not going to attack Boo and risk losing the Monarch. You can cycle to clear if I want to. All of their creatures are tokens right now. 3 mana Ponder. Hell yeah. Every time I see my opponent do that, feels good. Feels bad that I have these double Trinispheres in my hand that aren't helping, but one in play is doing pretty good. Opponent did not shuffle. That's scary. 3 mana EI? Fuck yeah. You got one more spell this turn. Brainstorm into EI, they would have still had a million mana, but down to one spell. Flooded Strand was the exile card. That's still only one spell. The 3 counters on Boo, that's fine. I can slide him out. I'm gonna block the 4/4 and cycle Secluded Step. Flickering out Boo. Get him out. Through Solitude, good stuff. You can cast Force of Will this turn with the mana they have, if there's a fetchable land left in the deck, which I don't know their list enough to be sure. Towards the Plowshares, okay. Well, now I know that's not going to work. Solitary Confinement, that's, with the Loams out of the deck, that card is much worse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Enough mana to Solitude. Here are the 3/3. Attack Minsc and Boo. They're cracking. Why? Is there a Dryad Arbor in your deck? Oh, Mystic Sanctuary returns what? Aggressive Iteration? Prismatic Ending. Okay. Gonna fight my Drift. You're gonna fight my Free Ball. Second main. Play a land and crack it. Get another Savannah and play Yorion. Yorion can flicker Eternal Witness and Solitude. They come back, and I draw a card for the Monarch. It's a cycle land, good shit. Clear your 4/4, get back a cycle land. I think the cycle lands are the way to go here. So maybe not. Maybe it should have been. Oh no, the Skyclave Apparition was in exile, so it can't be that. I am 2 minutes behind my opponent on clock, which I'm a little concerned about. Bunch of wastelands over there. Wastelanding me. Okay. I'll cycle Secluded Step. And exile Boo. That was going to happen anyway. Drew another cycle card. They picked up Prismatic Ending last turn. I imagine they're going after the Drift. So they are at 8 now, which is lethal from my attack squad. Here comes the ending. And it did go after Drift. No surprise there. You get one more spell this turn under Trinisphere. And okay. An attack with all my creatures. Maybe I just attack with the Yorion. Or no, I have Solitude in my hand and cast out on my hand. If they cast Endurance to block, I can cast it out. Towards the Plowshares, whatever. Take 5. And then am I more worried about Minsc and Boo or Sylvan Library? Or none of the above? I could just cast out Minsc and Boo, but Prismatic Ending gets it back. I can go to my end step and then decide. Yeah, I get the Monarch draw, and all these cards have flash. So I can see what I draw and then care. Or not care. Edge of Autumn, okay. Right now, while I know my opponent can't do anything, I'm going to cast out. I'm going to take the Minsk and Boo. Sylvan Library is just Miri's Guile at this point anyway. I have enough cards in hand. Maybe I could just play Solitary Confinement and rock out. As Richard Garfield intended. No way to break the parity, just chilling. It's actually really interesting. Maybe I should have done that. I have these 2 Trinispheres I'm not going to cast, and I have 3 more ways to draw cards plus Solitude to interact. Field of the Dead. Shit. It's a good one. Oh no, is this Uro? Oh, it's worse. It is the prismatic ending that I was worried about on the cast out. Yeah, that works. You get a hamster. If Force of Will is their last card in hand, they can... Okay, they're sacrificing a creature to deal damage. Shoot my Eternal Witness. Makes sense. Okay. My Solitudes are still lethal. Progressive Iteration. Another one going around here. Brainstorm. If you cast that, you're done with spells for the turn. Nice. Okay, so Solitude eats zombie, they go to 5, I attack for 6, and Trinisphere locks out any interaction with that plan. Is that accurate? Sounds good to me. All right, and we got the scoop. 2 and 3 with Selesnya Astral Slide in 2022 Legacy. The challenge from Mark was to make a green-white deck. Obviously, I think this deck would be increased dramatically in quality if it had blue cards in it. Like, I would love to see Shark Typhoon. I would love to see Ponder and Brainstorm. The prison element wasn't really great. The Chalice and Trinisphere stuff, if we just like cut those, and that means that like Ancient Tomb and Mox Diamond get less important as well. Like, there is some Bant version of this that's probably pretty cool. This version that's really trying to turbo, it doesn't really keep up with Legacy in the way that it needs to. The decks that let us take our time, set up, do whatever we want, the Bant Depths deck and then the Bant Control deck, or Lone Bant, Hamster Bant, whatever we want to call that last one, they did just let us hang out, make land drops, didn't pressure us too much, and we got to go nuts. The Death and Taxes matchup we played against, that deck, in their deck is constructed better than mine, and there were a bunch of like tiny little pressure points where like, oh, they drew the 6th land to port me 3 times when porting me 2 times wouldn't have been enough this turn, or okay, they're Hellbent and I have Yorion and they drew Caracas for turn. Like, there were a lot of little moments like that, but their deck is better constructed and has fewer cards, and you're going to see your good cards more often. So I'm not complaining, just pointing out that that one could have gone either way. But Slivers and Delver were both just absolute smearing, just Ret backed by some disruption. They didn't let us do what we wanted to do. They just shrugged off what we wanted to do and killed us. Wasteland early on, really tough. It sucks when Wasteland is good against your Mox Diamond, Flagstones of Trocare 7 basic lands deck. Awkward stuff. All that said, though, like, we knew coming in we weren't going to break the metagame. We were just trying to make Astral Slide and Astral Drift work, and we did make it work several times. Had some really cool interactions with that in play. We did take a game off Delver by sliding a Solitude out after evoking it on low resources. Good shit. And I'm going to leave this here. I'm sure there is some tuning up you could do. The prison elements weren't great. Maybe there's a better way to control the board. Probably just some Swords to Plowshares in the deck would go a long way. Try that out. And that's my advice. Mark, thank you for this brew challenge. We did the thing several times. I'm proud of this showing. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope everyone else enjoyed watching it too. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and the other things that support the channel in the video description. I'm out of here. See you next time.